Hey, I'm back here today with a comparison between colored pencils and crayons. That's right, I said comparison between colored pencil and crayons. Now, I actually have used crayons throughout the years. Use it pretty much the same way as colored pencil, and I'll show it to you here. I mean, obviously, you have your typical crayon, you have your waxy buildup, and that makes it a little bit more difficult to sort of deal with. But these can be fun. These can give you some great textures if you use them properly. Just like a regular colored pencil. So what I have here are a couple different examples. I just have some basic colors here, complementary colors, nothing too exciting. And I'm just going to lay some things down here real quick. I already got my circles, so I'm already just going to block in some shadow work. You can see where the shadows are going to be for each one. Nothing too exciting here. But like I said, the secret between colored pencil and crayon is really just that waxy buildup. It's still the same idea. So if you start with your basic colored pencil here, I just have my yellow. I'm just going to come in on the lighter side, and it's all about layering. It's all about laying it down. A lot of people want to come in and start gouging with their colored pencil, really just start pressing in. But no, just like this, lightly down. It's very easy to get real tight and get real technical and get real up there with colored pencil. It really is. But really the best way to do it, you just want to lay it down just like that. Your first layer. Come in with your little color of red over top. And you definitely want to use cross hatching. And you want to take advantage of the different shapes, especially as you're coming up through the layers. So one of those can also be circles. So if you want to try and build up a little bit of texture across the shape, you can do that as well. You can do your standard lines. You can come in and you can sort of block things out. If you want to just do like blocks, you can do that as well. But work with the shapes too, and the earlier you are in a drawing, the more valuable this stuff is. So you want to make sure that what you're putting down is, pretty close to where you want to be, and you want to make your adjustments early on, because as you move on in the piece, that's going to be it. You can come back and make some adjustments here and there with colored pencil. You can highlight some things, you can come back over top, you can spray it, and do other layers over top as well. But generally speaking here, it's not like charcoal pastels where you can kind of just wipe things a little bit and pull things up and get real dirty with your hands. Color pencil, you're going to be a little bit more technical with it. And when it goes down, it goes down. So then I'll come in with a little bit of my blue, and you're actually mixing colors as you go. And like I said, the more you do it, the more that's going to show through as the piece goes on. All right. So now I got a little bit of my blue sort of showing through there. If I want to come back in with my pencil, I can come back in and maybe sort of work out the darks. Notice I don't have, a black colored pencil. I have a pencil. You can use a black colored pencil if you'd like. I think sometimes that can be too harsh. Use it sparingly, just like you would use a white. And you can come back over top of the white too if you want to smooth this out. White really, and I can show you that later in some future colored pencil where it's just dedicated colored pencil. It's just sort of the same idea over here too. These are just the basics when you're just laying stuff down. So, come in with the pencil, you can smear a little bit. But for the most part, you're working back and forth with these different colors. So now I'm going to be back here with the red. I'm going to sneak it over a little bit. And you're really just going to layer, back over top, back over top, back over top, back over top. You want a nice tooth paper. My favorite is the medium tooth. I think it just holds everything nicely. You can get like a nice smooth surface for the colored pencil. They tend to come down a little slicker. Still the same idea though. You still want to layer them in. You want to go slowly. You want to hold the pencil like this, and you want to bring the color in a little bit at a time, mixing a little bit at a time. And the more you massage this, the better. And like I said, you know, I don't have the white and the black out right now. I'm just using base colors. And that's on purpose because you want to force yourself to use those last. So that's just kind of a tip there that I'm going to do a little more with colored pencil as time goes on. I'll do some more of these drawings. But you're just coming in and you're just throwing these colors back on top. And you can come in with various different colors too. That's the nice thing about this is you can really have colors flowing all through this thing, you know, however you want it, you know. And then the more, it's almost like pixelation. So when you start off, you're going to be highly pixelated because these, you know, these are rougher pencils, so they're going to go down rough. But then as you put more and more on top, the smoother it can look, and it gets less and less pixelated, just like you're working on a computer. So it's the same idea. So the more I do that, the smoother I make certain things, the more that works down here in the shadows, the more that could work to your advantage up here with the highlights, and you can really pull out some nice textures with this. So now it's the same idea over here with the crayon. So now I'm going to come in with the crayon. You're going to have a little harder time with the crayon because it's lighter. That waxy buildup really sort of hinders things sometimes. You know, as you can see, the flow of the colored pencil comes down all nice right away, and you can work with that. A crayon, you have to have a little more control, you know, and if you press too hard, you're going to get some harsher. So you can do really light and you're not going to hardly see it, or you can go super dark and you can see too much of it. So you just want to come in just like this over top, just like that. We'll do the same thing with your different colors. It's the same idea. You come in with the blue over top of the red, and you're going to do the exact same thing that you did over here. You can come in, you can circle it out. All right, so I'm circling it out with my blue. Now, as I said before, with the colored pencil, a lot of this here is going to kind of be permanent. Same idea, but it's even more emphasized. You know, what you're laying down here is really going to be permanent. All right, so you have to keep that in mind. You know, when this crayon goes down, it's a little harder to control, but it's the same idea. You're coming in and you're just throwing color on top of each other, and you're just cross-hatching over top, and the idea is to eventually get rid of that pixelation. But it's nice because you can get some really rich colors out of just 3 colors. You can get a nice blend all the way across. So that makes it really nice. I do find myself pressing a little harder with a crayon. A lot of times that's just the waxy buildup. You know, you can kind of heat these up a little bit. That'll help it flow. If you really heat these up a lot, you can come in with a Q-tip and you can spread them out a little more too. Then, of course, you have the white and the black that you can go over top with as well. So, you know, the white is going to come in and kind of smooth this out a little bit. You can really smooth in some of these harsher lines right here. And the black, of course, across the back, just like I would do with my pencil. So I come in and I'm really working the back of my ball here. I'm doing it with the and so like I said, I'm coming in here with my pencil over top, and you know, like I said before previously, just reiterating the black and white, you always want to use that last. And I'll do some of those techniques here later on as we come in and do some more extensive pieces, you know, something other than just these simple shapes here. But this just gives you an idea and shows you the contrast and difference between the two. Like I said, a crayon is just harsher, so you're just going to have to put a little bit more maintenance into it. But you can get some nice rich colors out of the crayon, just like you can here with the colored pencil. So it makes it really nice. And you can keep going over top, just like so. And you can keep creating just like you would a colored pencil. And this would almost lay down almost like an oil pastel. That's kind of the best way I can describe these crayons, is it's a little bit more like an oil pastel. And I'll have some tutorials as well on oil pastels as we go along. I do have several pieces here. Excuse me. I do have some pieces here in mind that I would like to do with the oil pastels. So you'll really be able to see that. But oil pastels lay down a lot like crayon. So, you know, anytime somebody will say, oh, you're an adult, you're playing around with crayons, what are you doing? Well, it's the same idea. It really isn't any different. It really isn't much different than coming in with like an oil pastel or a colored pencil. It's really the same idea. So don't be afraid to grab you some crayons, grab you a sketch pad, and go draw a little bit. Lay down some colors, lay down some black and white, lay down just some different shapes. You know, don't be afraid to come in here and try different colors, try different combinations, see what works and what doesn't here with the shadows. You know, and keep coming back over top with your pencils as well. You can get some great textures out of these crayons just like you can the colored pencil. And you can get some nice slickness out of these too. You can get these really nice and smooth, especially when you come in with the white over top. But like I said, you want to use the white and the black sparingly. I'll show some of that later on. But this just kind of gives you a brief overview of what you're looking at when you're using, you know, a colored pencil versus a crayon. So I will use these all the time, just like I use these, and I love them. So don't be afraid to do it. Pull out your sets and have some fun and be grown children. So that's it for now. We'll see you down the road. Bye.